everybody. Today is step one of waking up our dahlias. We love our dahlias here. They bring us tons of joy all summer long with their beautiful blooms and how happy they make the bees. This is basically just step one of the process, and we'll be showing you all throughout the year everything that follows. So let's go. Okay, so because this property is new to us, we're still kind of trying to work out the kinks of where things fit the best. So basically, with dahlias, you want to think about your temperature, your humidity, your airflow, all sorts of different things. So from property to property, from city to city, from, country to country, like how you tend to your dahlia tubers over winter is going to vary wildly. Last year, what we did was we did a mixture of the cocoa core. I mixed in some perlite with mine because this mix, I could tell when I picked it up that it's just a little too wet for me. Like if I can squeeze it and it kind of starts to hold its shape, then that's just a little bit too much moisture for me to store in. So I just picked up some perlite and mixed it in because perlite helps with drainage, but it's also bone dry. So while it will kind of retain some moisture, it's just gonna even out the moisture level in the bins. That is more the texture of what I wanna store my tubers in. And these wood shavings so that we could have still a little bit of moisture in the bins, but not too much that they were gonna mold. So I've been checking on them all winter, and I've pulled out the ones that I've found throughout that have gone bad. I always lose some. I've never had 100% year in my life. I don't know if anybody does. If they do, hook me up with the tips. But yeah, so this here is basically what we kind of go through and we find. So when you look at it, and this is a bin of mixed tubers. Most of them, if we're separating them, we're labeling them, we are dividing them, dipping them in some cinnamon so that they don't get as much bacterial fungal growth going on them. But this bin here was kind of like a straggler bin of a whole bunch of extras of all sorts of things. So it's gonna be a bit of a crapshoot if they are happy or they're not. So when you come in here, you can see like this one here, definitely froze. And we had a hard time last year because there were so many dahlias that were still in the ground when our freezing temperatures came because we just had too many. So, I hope that they did well, but there is a good chance that we're gonna come across a lot that did suffer. So basically what I'm gonna do right now is just a bit of a sort. So I'm gonna take any good ones that haven't popped and I'm just going to set them off to the side because I know it's still good, but it hasn't popped, so it's not quite ready to go. And all I do is I basically just look around here to see if there's any eyes forming. I don't see any, but it's good and it's solid. That's still a good one. Oh, this one's great. This one has really good eyes forming already. So that looks wonderful. Yeah, and this is a number 9, which I love. She's a dainty little purple bitty and she's absolutely beautiful. This is a 17 and it already has roots forming in here. So I actually don't see, oh yeah, there's like a little bit of an eye forming here and some roots. So I'm gonna put this one into this bin here with just a little bit of soil, and I know that this is one that's gonna get potted up and planted. So then it's just a matter of going through and checking everybody and seeing kind of where we're at. So I fluff it up. If there's no eyes, I'm setting it aside. So this one here, this is a 31, which is beautiful. We didn't get very many of them, but you can see toast. No good. And then once we're done with all of this stuff here, it just goes into our compost and gets mixed in and just becomes a part of the garden again. I think we're gonna be at this part of it for quite a while. We might just hammer some of this out so that we can get to show you guys the next steps. So we're gonna set you down and get to work. Wah, wah. This here is, we sorted through 2 bins, and they were just our 2 mystery bins, but this shows you kind of what our ratios were like. So we got 2 full bins of tubers that haven't popped yet. They're very strong, they look good. I'm sure they'll be popping soon. We've got all of these here that are already popping. They all have roots forming, they have eyes forming. They have like these bitties, big roots coming out. And then these are the ones that didn't make it. This one just didn't even have a head. This one was put away with no head. No good. No good. So, I mean, it's a little higher of a number of ones that didn't make it than I would like, but the reality is, like, it was really cold by the time I got these finished. It took me almost 2 months to get all the dahlias divided and down, even with the helpers that I had coming in here and there. It was a very lengthy process. So, I mean, I think that it did really good for having just 2 bins sorted, having all of these looking great, all of these ready to plant, and then just these few toast. But I think it's looking good. So those ones there, we're gonna leave for the next little while, and I'll just keep checking back on them to see if they have any eyes pop. These ones here, we're gonna head to the greenhouse and we're gonna pot these guys up. And then these ones, we're gonna take to the compost and they can rejoin the garden again later. Okay, so we sorted all the tubers that we had to all of the mix matched ones. And before I get too ahead of myself, I just want to get these ones planted so that they're all tucked in and cozy. So we're going to head to the greenhouse and get some stuff done. It's fine. Everything's fine. Stinging nettle got me. Everything's fine. All the fun. So this is the soil that we mixed up yesterday, which is just a mixture of our mushroom compost, some soil that we had kicking around over there, perlite, and a little bit of cocoa coir as well. And we just mixed it all in, so it's gonna be a good rich base because dahlias love to eat and they also like drainage. So the cocoa and the perlite are going to help to sort of keep things even and not super dense and saturated. And then the compost is going to give them a good dose of food. And it's nice sometimes when you use soil that's natural to your land, because then all of the microorganisms that are already in your land are a part of that soil. So it kind of, I don't know, wakes them up in a way that they already know they're friends. Now we can get in and close the door. What we're gonna do here is basically start just with labeling our pots. So we filled them up. I only fill them partially, like part way up. And then I have a filler bucket as well with me. So basically it's just a matter of choosing which tuber goes where. So if you have a big one like this, it's gonna be hard to get it fit in there. You're gonna need a bigger pot. Or if you have a little one, sometimes this is overkill, whatever. So choose the right size pot is important. Label your pot is super important. I did not pay attention to which kind of white it was because obviously I got to a point in the year where I was in my dahlia days. It says on it, oh, Case in point. I knew it was white, so I put a W on it. At least it got me that far. So all I'm gonna do is just take this, put a W on it, and then I'm just gonna take and cover it up. It's not covered super deep. Maybe about this much soil on top of it, just for now. It can get covered a little deeper once we plant it out later, but for now, my tuber is fairly close to the surface. Oh, the other fun thing is, I guess, I should say, is with dahlia tubers, I always plant mine this way. I never do them up and down. It's not like if you had a bulb, you would want to put it, the bottom here and the top here so it can grow out. But dahlia tubers, they grow out horizontally like you would a rhizome. So if I plant my ginger horizontally, I plant my tubers like this horizontally, and then the shoots come up from here. Down the road, this will become what we call the mother tuber, and this from here will make all of these other ones that will come out kind of almost like how an asparagus does, how it makes like a corm. It has all of these pieces that shoot out, kind of like that. Only, I don't know if you can separate asparagus tubers. Probably not. I think they're crowns. But All right, so this one I'm just gonna dig down a little more because she's thick. And then I like to always leave a decent amount of space at the top of my pot so that when I water them in, I can fully saturate them. I don't like to have it so that if the soil is right to the top and then you water it, the water just splashes out. But if you give them a good amount of space at the top of the pot, when you water it, the water fills up to there and then saturates nice and deep into it, and you don't get as much overspill. So I'm just watering everybody in and giving them a good drink. So they should be good for a while now because I can't see them drinking that much. They don't have much of anything for roots or anything yet. But I'm just giving them a good healthy drink of water, and then we're gonna get out of here, close the door, and just let them cook. They'll get all toasty warm in here and they'll get tons of sunshine. So this is just gonna be a really good bouncing off point. And then next month when we plant all of these guys, hopefully they'll be big and nicely established and have lots of good greens on the top and good root bases in the bottom so that we can get them into the field and have them be super happy. So, water, yay! Okay, so we are done for the day, and I'm really happy with how much we got done for sure. We made it through all of our sort of mystery or mix packed bins, which was really great. We got that whole section of the greenhouse filled up, and it kind of looks like an Easter rainbow in there with all of the different colored pots, which is really, really cool. And yeah, I think it's a really good first step. I mean, the dahlias are so important to us. We make beautiful flower arrangements all year long. They bring joy to us in the yard. They bring joy to us in our homes. They bring joy to the bees. They're just so important and they're so beautiful. And so this step is really vital, being able to check up on them all winter long and make sure that you can kind of keep track on where your tubers are at. And then in the springtime, making sure that you sort through them. And if you can see eyes, put them in a category. If nothing's popped, it's a different section. If they're already growing roots,
look at it. Look at it.
Then you're behind the gun and you should have started it a week ago. But I think it went really well and I'm super stoked, and I am very grateful for all the help that I had today, so thank you so much. Wanda, she's been coming to help, and it's awesome. So I look forward to being able to show you guys the next steps that come after. We're gonna get our garden beds prepped soon to get them in, and fingers crossed we get all of our irrigation sorted, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The Dahlia days have begun 2024. Stay tuned.